What's going on, everybody? Hello. We've got some news today. We're going to be breaking down, of course, the most recent Richard Hart update in regards to PulseChain. We're going to be breaking down the HEX price and what we could be looking at in that regard. And we're going to be looking at some traders as well who have traded previously and how trading can truly devastate you and why it's not the most advantageous move and why you shouldn't be trading with HEX right now. So let's get all into that. Say what's up to everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for everyone being in here. Crypto Mike, first in, baby. Ready for the fire stream and killer charts. Chart Gold, appreciate that. Chart God, appreciate that. What's up, Gabriel? What's up? Gloria, Rafi, good evening from the UK. Looking forward to the magic. What's up? Sunday fun day. Absolutely. Simplify, my brother. Simplify back, my friend. Let's go on time this time. I was actually delayed this time. Let's be real. ATX, thanks for coming on a Sunday, of course, Gloria. Cheers. What's up? 8 cents incoming. Absolutely. We are moving ever so close to 8 cents at this point in time. 2 more minutes. Looking forward to hear from ATX and how many HEX are now available to buy. Hey, Seven. What's up? Is it time to change? Is the time change messing with the stream time? It's happened twice this morning to me. Yeah, no, the time change didn't get me. It ended up being, I just got back from the park with the family, and I had a blast at the park, and so I was trying to make sure everything was all set, get everyone situated so I can come stream and be on here with all you beautiful people, and that way we can truly get a glance at what's going on and what's happening with everyone all around our community. So, let's see what's up. Yo, HOA, what's up? Hey, Seven. What's up, Crypto Military Vet? No, I'm here, but imagine I'm not here. What's up? V3 testnet at New Moon. Hey, what would that be? Next week, essentially? What is that? We're going to look at that here in a second. Big Kahuna saying hello. Preet Swag, hope everyone is well. Absolutely. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Sending love. Don't want to take over the chat. Well, you do you, boo. We're going to have a lot of fun, Crypto7. She4 says, so excited to be a part of this intense, amazing journey. Absolutely agree with that as well. Simplify, my friend. Crypto7, are you joining ATX? You will not be joining the stream. He's just hopping in chat. First seconds of stream got rugged. Good evening. Audio is still perfect, lol. Just enjoy watching at Glory Rafi. Absolutely. Let's go, my people. Don't forget to backhand that like. And, of course, smash the subscribe button as well. Share the stream. Sharing is caring. Thank you so much, Harv Harry. Absolutely appreciate that. Crypto7 sent a tweet as well. So, yeah, let's go ahead and send that tweet out to every single one of you beautiful folks who are out there. See what's happening. But, guys, god dang. Are we freaking excited or what? I mean, I'm talking about we're back to that bullish momentum. I can see us easily starting the rally of the bull cycle once PulseChain does launch. So big fan of what's actually possible. We had the most recent collapse with SVB and the whole USDC issue with Circle shutting down until the end of the weekend. So Coinbase isn't allowing any withdrawals, and like all this stuff is all happening. And of course, as we grow in this community, that was kind of the beginning of what I thought could have been the bottom. We were looking a little bit bearish for a little bit of time. We didn't have any news from our man, Richard Hart, but that has changed. And look at this tweet right here, folks. PulseX, PulseChain update. Aragon is synced and the block explorers are indexing very nicely. So on this picture, you can see 43 blocks indexed. But guys, I don't think y'all really understand what that means. Aragon is synced. That means all 15 stages have been synchronized. That means from the time period that we talked about, stage 7 taking roughly about 13 or 30 hours. Again, if you actually go back over here, oops, not that one. If you go back over here and see, on average, stage 7 and everything took about 90 hours, and you can see what Richard Hart would say. Stage 7 took 30 hours, and then stage 8 and 9 was about 2 hours, 1 hour. So we got to stage 10. We passed that bad bug, that bad peer that kicked us all the way back to 5. We passed that, and not only that, we move forward because you can see 11, 12, and 13 essentially are just hours of synchronizing for Aragon. Anything less or not mentioned in this stage essentially just means that it's very likely fast, even within a few seconds. So we have it to where everything is ready to go, folks. So this is that bullish news that we've been waiting for. That is bullish. He literally says Aragon is synced. And my God, dude, if you do not get pumped on this type of stuff, PulseChain, Pulse.com, PulseX.com, PulseChain.com update, Aragon is synced. Guys, 15 stages complete. That means now we are up to stage 15 on the synchronization for March. So what that means is when it comes time to launch PulseChain, we only need to synchronize up to March now, okay? So previously we were having to synchronize up to October 4th. That was where we were previously stuck at. Everything got kicked back and had to revert starting from October 4th was their last sync point. Well, now our last sync point is March 11th, and geez, does that not mean some bullish news for PulseChain? Folks, we talk about this blockchain index, and I mentioned this in my tweet that I sent out as well. On average, when a blockchain is getting indexed, it takes roughly about anywhere between a day to a week. Now, I'm going to go on the latter side and say a week, only because you never know exactly what could go on. Everything with technology that can go wrong typically likes to go wrong. So I'm going to be more so on the latter side and say a week, but it could very well likely happen to where we have this happen even earlier, folks, before the week even comes around. Why is that? Because if Huddle Dog made a great point, and it was commented to me as well, because I sent out the message, and someone was kind enough to let me know that that Huddle Dog actually mentioned in the past that we actually launched V2B before the Pulse chain was fully synchronized. Mr. Crypto JSY actually said that, and so I actually sent this little message right here, and you can see again he was coming through. I said Pulse chain looking glorious, around 1 week remaining roughly, and again that's because that's how long it can sometimes take. Okay. So if I'm going based on that knowledge and everything, he actually said PulseChain V2B never fully indexed. I think V2B launched before it was at 40%. So damn, that made me bullish. And I was like, didn't know this little fun fact. It's been a year, so I'd already forgotten, right? And Huddle Dog had mentioned it, and I was like, say what? Because like, are you shitting me? Is this real? Because that could mean that we do get V3, you know, even by as early as within the next 24 hours. Now, I'm still going to be a little bit on the more bearish side because it's already taken so long. I'm just going to be real with y'all. I do anticipate that it's already running. They want everything working. They want to make sure it's all good before they release it to the public. So I'm a big fan of even saying next week. And I know I called for V3 to be launching this weekend. I am so glad that we got the Aragon synchronized finish. That's what I was referring to when I talked about it being done. I didn't realize they had to resynchronize and index the block as well, because they're just getting everything jam-packed, so that way when it's all ready, we are good to go, folks. Now they are working with some massive, and I mean massive machines, right? 128 gigs for RAM. They have a terabyte hard drive. Like the machine that they're running right now is insane. Okay, so I am a big believer that we actually do end up getting somewhere between V3 launch happen this week, between the next today up to the next weekend. Now you got to imagine we have gotten an update from Richard Hart about PulseChain for the last 10 weeks in a row now. I continue that same sentiment going. We've gotten an update every single week since the beginning of the year, starting in January 3rd as a matter of fact. And every single week since then, for the last 10 weeks, we've gotten some form of PulseChain update. So guys, like, it's only a matter of time before V3 is here, and I know we continue to talk about it, but now that Aragon's fully synced, that was one of the biggest things that I think we had to hurdle and overcome. We've got that fully synced up for all 15 stages, and it's ready to rock and roll. Dude, I mean, you're talking about a rocket ship ready to take off, and it's in the ignition sequence right now, counting down, saying 10, 9, doing that whole countdown right now, because it's just a matter of time before we do get liftoff. We get V3 coming, and then at that point in time, we're off into the races once PulseChain officially launches. So I am very bullish as to what is very possible here in the very near future. And again, let's just say what's up to everyone once again. Chris Crypto, hello. Pete Swag, what's up? 777777, absolutely. Hex Clips, hello. What's up, 10 Top? What's up, Hexicans? Hello. Well, guys, based on this one news alone, let's see what HEX has been doing. And HEX has been on an absolute tear over the last few days. Now, we did cross below. This was before we started getting any announcement of SVB having insolvency and their issues going on with everything happening. So we actually crossed the 9 EMA, did cross below the 15 EMA. That is typically a bearish signal. I did send that message out via tweet as well, saying we are looking for a bearish sentiment. I had called back when we were around 6.9. We were going to go down around 5.8. I even said 5.5. We did get that low. Glad that all came to fruition. Hopefully y'all were able to scoop up some amazing HEX around this time. You put your limit orders in, as we discuss here on this channel. If you don't know enough about limit orders, feel free to join the Patreon link down below. We have a nice little discussion about limit orders. I let you know where I put mine, and y'all are welcome to follow me as well there. But just recently, we actually crossed once again where the 9 EMA has now crossed the 15 EMA back into the bullish zone. So ever since yesterday, it's been an absolute blast. We've been moving roughly about 46%. We're up to 7.4 cents right now. We did get as high at one point in time as 7.7, or at the time it was going to be a high of 7.693. So again, really close to that. The previous all-time local high that we've had is 7.8. So we do need to break this local high right now, and then we start going forward faster, further, and all that good stuff into the future. So I do think that we are back to the bullish zone. I think that SVB crisis of USDC has made people realize holding stablecoins isn't going to do you any good at this point in time, especially if they can if there's a bank run that goes on. The feds are doing an emergency meeting on Monday. And so, they've already said, Janet Yellen at least has already said that she doesn't plan on bailing out SVB, because then it kind of sets a precedence, right? It's like if a bank's so big and it fails and we're just going to bail you out, and like, you don't want to set that precedence, man. So there needs to be some blood in the streets. And unfortunately, everything happening with USDC, they seem to be pretty backed. In fact, Richard Hart even sent out this tweet, and I'll pull this up again because Richard Hart actually came through and came out with the tweet kind of talking about how USDC actually may be pretty good still, but again, I'd rather play it safe than sorry. Even the PulseX sacrifice balance recently moved over all the USDC into DAI. So now DAI, they actually are the #1 holder of DAI if you actually look on Etherscan. And you know what? Instead of just talking about it, why not show it? So when you look on Etherscan right now, you can type in DAI, for example. It'll pull up the DAI stablecoin. You can see we're still depegged at this point in time. It's no longer sitting at $1. It's now sitting at 97 cents. So it's 3% off at this point in time, or a 3% discount. But if you actually look at the holders right here, and you can see, oh, Aave came back and took it over. Aave's like, fuck your face. All right, PulseX sacrifice was sitting at #1 yesterday. However, they're at the #2 spot. And again, you can see them right here, just in case y'all aren't seeing it right now. They are sitting at the #2 spot in terms of the holders for DAI. We're sitting on $270 million. And for shits and gigs, I was looking at, or I say S's and G's typically. I was looking to see what may end up happening. I'm going to talk about Uniswap here in a little bit for liquidity. I don't want to look at this particular page right now. Where was I looking? All right, I don't have it up right now, so I'm not even going to bother with that right now. But there was a point in time where I was like, what would happen if all the 270 million just went into HEX? And essentially it would push the price against itself like 98%, and that was brutal, bro. It was brutal. All right, hold on. I gotta see a little message. Someone sent a tweet out right here, so you already know I gotta take a little peeky weeky over here and take a look at what good old man Kareem ended up saying. He has all of the dream stakes and all that good stuff. So let's take a little peeky week over here on that little comment and see what is actually happening. And I hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend, man. It's been an absolute roller coaster. I converted all of my USDC that I was holding into HEX because I think that was the better play for myself. I don't want to take the risk, and I took a 3% loss. So I was talking about that. I took the 3 to 5% loss. I was like, I'd rather run the risk that, I move it into an actual ERC20, Ethereum, HEX, whatever choice you decide, and hold that crypto, than hold it in stablecoin right now. Because if they do a bank run, man, I'm curious as to see where this ends up going on Monday. for sure. But let's see what we're talking about here in chat. Let me mute this tab real fast. Mute site. Cool. That way I don't end up hearing myself once again as it's playing. And then I'll pull up the chat as well. So what did you send us, 10 Top? Let's take a little peeky weeky at this message. Hopefully it's not some titties right here because I just pulled it up without even looking. But he says, Hexicans, important. Please share everywhere. Here's my thoughts on the recent PulseX SAC wallet actions with stablecoins that we have seen over the past 7 hours and why it is a great live display of risk management. It's a 4D chess move and genius level thinking in this crazy times. Absolutely. No, I completely agree. First, the context of if you didn't know, PulseX SAC wallet is now the #1 holder of SAI. We just checked it. It's now the #2 holder. It's almost got 270 million in DAI in just one wallet. For quick maths, 40 million Ethereum, 43 DAI, 43 million DAI, 8.3% ARB opportunity swapping Tether while premium was there. Average entry was 91 cents per DAI. Damn, that's some freaking awesome timing. Of course, as you know from our man Richard Hart and all of the genius level moves that he does a 4D chess move on all of his plays, by the way. So we're just fortunate that we get to see this take place and be a part of the ecosystem. At the current DAI price, the Tether swap already made $200,000 in value. If when DAI depegged or repegged, the value added to the war chest will be 3.358 million just from this move. Damn, beautiful. Why DAI, you might ask? Well, this is the risk management really kick in. DAI is only roughly exposure to 30% of USDC. Also, anyone and everyone panic selling USDC below 91 cents is being careless at best with their funds, or at worst, not doing the math about the risk. Second risk angle, most people don't see. Let's say you had all of your USDC and sent this to an exchange, convert it to fiat. Let me ask you this. What is your guarantee that your bank will be alive next week to honor all of your withdrawals? LOL. Let alone the capital gains tax created. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about real fast on this whole statement right here. There's a lot of talk going on with like small banks not being able to perform well, especially if they don't come to the rescue like they're talking about not doing already. And they are holding a federal an emergency meeting on Monday. So we're going to see how this all ends up playing out. But there's a lot of talk that your bank is already, like, this comes from the banking world. The fractional reserve system comes from the banking world. So when you put in some money, they can go take that money and typically invest it in, say, treasury yield or something like that, or treasury bonds. And those are, getting defeated by inflation at this point in time. So if there is truly a bank run, there is no guarantee that your bank will even allow you to withdraw the funds. So if you have one of the bigger banks, one of the top 8 or whatever, if you have one of the bigger banks that are kind of more scrutinized, you can have a routing number and everything ready. So you can just go to your bank on Monday, for example, and just say, hey, I want to do a bank transfer over here. I want to do a wire transfer over here with this account, with this routing number, with this information, and then that way they can just send it over to a bigger bank, for example. So hopefully your smaller bank doesn't get hit so far at this point in time. Nope, all is good at this. I can't think if we need any, and I'm streaming. All right, sorry, the wife is sending that message, trying to see if we need anything from the store while she's out shopping and doing everything, taking the pup out for a little pup venture. So yeah, what's the guarantee that your bank will be alive next week? In a world where no bank's traditional entity can be trusted 100% from not failing, and where you want to have your freedom of accessing your funds from anywhere around the world freely and instantly, one must do his best to minimize middleman and counterparty risk. And this is just where it just gets juicy, man. How many? Let me just see how many messages, because if we go down. Okay, cool. Let me just read the TLDR. Let's just get to that, because it's a lot of information. Love Kareem, love what he's doing here. Of everything happening and everything, all risk factored in. DAI is the best stablecoin, over collateralized, verifiable on chain. MakerDAO community, which controls DAI, has great management skills. As the T-bills bot continue to print profit, or 4.5% cash flow every 2 weeks, the USDC backing DAI will decrease. Well, there you go. I just got to the TLDR. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone who got a chance to see it. Appreciate you sharing that information, 10 Top. It's always good to see, someone else kind of having a similar mindset, similar mentality. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, I would rather not hold stable coins I'm not going to withdraw the stablecoins into fiat because, again, you pay capital gains taxes when you convert crypto into fiat at that point in time. And so you're inherently injecting another, 20 to 50% loss at that point because you have to pay taxes, assuming it all gets reported and all that good stuff. So it's one of those things that, like, I would rather continue to hold the crypto and not hold any stable coins. And I was talking about this on the stream yesterday when we talked. I don't know if I want to convert, into stable coins of like TUSD, for example, or LUSD. At this point in time, I haven't really dove down the rabbit hole of looking through the other particular coins that may end up being beneficial or advantageous. For now, I am just going to stick with what I know, and that is going to be sticking with HEX and any ERC20 of your choice. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, so just keep all of that in mind when you end up doing everything yourself. I got my feet up on a fully stocked cooler, kicking back and waiting for the launch. Hey, Axis sent me a screenshot when we hit 777. Love it, love it. Hit the likes. Absolutely. Do what Hex Clip says. 10 Top, good to see you. Absolutely. You see the Twitter post about Kareem and Alpha. Yeah, exactly. So I got to read that. We just read that together. Appreciate. Hopefully everyone quite loved that a bunch. We got a message from Twitch. What's up? Oh, no, it's promotion. It's a buy. Ah! What are you doing? Get out of here. Ah! I'm just going to block you real quick because fuck you. Anyways, J-Man, what's up? Thanks, J-Man. Smash the likes for ATX. Absolutely. Enzo, what's up? What's up? Love the name, by the way. I didn't have the chance to buy the dip at all at the 5 cents without Moonboy. What did you say? Without Moonboy bullshit. What do you guys think is the chance of a dip? Oh, man. Okay. Great point. So to actually dive in a little bit further into this now. People, once everything resumes, we have like this goldfish memory when it comes to crypto, and we are susceptible to fall in trap for a lot of stuff. Richard Hart sent the message out himself talking about how Coinbase is basically, or Circle is basically backed, even though they had it here. They've deposited $40 billion, and they've had it go from a 0.1% to a 5% interest rate increase over the last couple years. So it gives them a lot to float for make up for bank failure. That's $2 billion a year in interest. So Richard Hart basically says like they raise money to ignore the spam, scam, fake giveaways. Woo. Hopefully a little fucking seizure alert right there for anyone who has any chance. I don't even want to scroll back up there. I'm just going to kind of go back to my full screen for a second so I don't show that once again, just in case anyone does have like seizure habits or whatever. But even him saying that doesn't necessarily make me bullish on the fact that we are covered in USDC. I think it was one of the better decisions that I could make at the time that I made the decision. I didn't want to run the risk of another bank run happening, and so I converted the USDC that I was holding back into the coin that I love, and that's HEX. It does mess up my entry prices that I was initially looking at getting. I was actually able to get some around the 6 cent level, so even at that point in time, we've already gone up quite a bit, and it's already more in profit than the 3% loss that I took, converting it into HEX. But you got to understand, I made that decision based on something that was good for me. I was okay with turning it back into HEX because I would much rather hold HEX for the long run. I hold HEX, I hold USDC or stablecoins to set limit orders, so that way when HEX dips, I just scoop it up. And I said, forget the limit orders. Let me just go switch all this and move it into the ERC20 of my choice, and that is HEX. You got to make your own decision as to what you decide to do. Now, talking about the dip, I think people are going to have the ability to see that we have gone and essentially done a, gone from here all the way up to here, a 50% increase in money. Some people are still willing to trade, guys. You got to understand that. And even right now, there's people selling, right? There's 275 sellers today, and in the last 24 hours, should I say, and 279 buyers. So it's just barely that the buyers are outpacing the sellers in terms of the volume, the buy volume. So in this regard, I would still see this as more of a, you can see people are still going to be swapping $135,000. This just happened, right? And these are folks, this is March 12th, right? So people are taking the profits that they've made even now at this point in time and moving it back into USDC because the price of USDC is actually going back up again, right? It's beginning to show that it's getting back to the repeg of $1. Now that doesn't mean that anything is going to be crazy. We were going through a bullish, bearish little moment happening right here, and I showcased it on the chart. It's right here, this little bearish zone. We were bearish for about, you know, 1 day. Well, obviously a few days, right? During this whole time, it was kind of bearish because Richard Hart announced that basically we got kicked back. We went backwards instead of forward. So people started getting bearish. They didn't know how long PulseChain was going to take. HEX is very correlated to PulseChain, guys. You got to understand it's now very correlated to good news and bad news. We got some phenomenal news from Richard Hart. I do not see us necessarily going back into a 5-cent range again. Now, does that mean that it's not possible? No, of course not. A shark or a whale can come in instantly and just dump as much as they want, and it has a lot of effect on the price. Why? Because there's very low liquidity when it comes to the actual chart right now. If you actually look at the liquidity right now in HEX, in Ethereum, and in USDC, you can see right now there's only roughly about 63 million available liquid HEX for sale. And so that means that at this point in time, whoops, my head's covering it. Let's see if I can zoom in just a smidge. Go over here, scroll down. Okay, so this is the HEX chart right here. So you can see there's roughly about $63 million or 63 million HEX in the liquidities between V2 and V3 for Uniswap. Okay, and then you can see the USDC right now. They're back to pushing this back up. It's sitting right at 6 million right now in terms of the USDC available, and then in Ethereum we're sitting roughly about 2,900 Ethereum. Okay, so in terms of the market right now, we do not have a lot of HEX on the market. That is good news, but it also means that it can affect the price that much easier up and down, right? We've seen this jump happen within the span of a day, and this one jump alone was a 21% increase. That happens very quickly because we have very low liquidity, right? There's very low liquidity available, so the prices can go up and down. People are going, in my opinion, take profit, especially the traders. And by traders, I do mean people who are currently not staking HEX. They don't care to stake HEX. They're only getting into this to make a quick buck, okay? They don't care if it 2x's. They're okay with the 20% profit. If they inject, we'll say 4 million HEX, for example, and they can make a 20% profit on it, then they come out, we're walking away with 800,000 additional HEX. Now, to go through and kind of showcase this once again, traders can also get wrecked, and this just recently happened. Let me see if I saved it here. And did I save it? I don't think I did. V3 less than 1 million. Oh, right here. Okay. So this was a tweet kind of showing exactly what happens with traders right now in this ecosystem. This guy sold 4.6 million HEX yesterday, and he had to buy back in today because the price pumped, and only got 3.7 million HEX. And he used MetaMask swap. So if you aren't familiar, like, don't do MetaMask swap. They charge a silly fee when you do these little swaps right here. So when you do a transaction with them, let me just switch it back to Ethereum real fast. So when you do a swap with them, for example, I'll just kind of show you as we go down. Let's just say 123, doesn't really matter here for DAI. And you can just kind of see here, review swap. And it's just kind of pulling this up right now. So they actually have a fee of 0.875%, and it's hard to see if you're on your phone. You can always pinch zoom. By the way, if you don't know that, you can. If you're on a computer, it sucks. You can't really do anything about it. Sorry, I can't zoom in on this particular one at this point in time. But MetaMask charges a 0.875 fee to do a swap within MetaMask. So it's highly advised not to swap. You can go through Uniswap, Match.xyz, 1inch.io, freaking Dex tools. I mean, any decentralized exchange, just check it out. If you have MetaMask, it's not worth doing a swap on MetaMask. Okay, you lose more money, you pay a fee. But this person did the mask and did the swap, and they essentially got wrecked, right? So they bought in, and you can see right here they bought in at the time. They transferred 284,000 USDT, bought HEX at 4.6 million. A couple days later, they ended up having to, or they sold the HEX, should I say. They sold the HEX and converted it into USDT. So that gave them a 284 million. They had that 284,000. Jesus, man, I need to calm down just a smidge. Let me bring myself down. I'm super freaking hyped right now, guys. If you don't notice, smash the likes for my energy, but let me calm down a second. 284,000 they bought back into HEX at 3.7 million. So they did in fact lose roughly about 1 million HEX doing this trade. Now, again, guys, this is where traders are going to get wrecked, because thank you so much for the new subscriber. Appreciate that so much as well. This is where traders get wrecked because they don't necessarily, they aren't necessarily familiar with what's going on. They're unsure why the price could be pumping. They don't understand that the Richard Hart tweet had everything to do with a lot of it. SVB had a little bit to do with it, and all this is kind of culminating together. So they're like, oh shit, I was planning on buying when the price actually dropped below 5 cents, and I was gonna buy some more HEX and do the same thing and swap. And I'm sure if we look back at that transaction for that person, they've been swapping HEX back and forth quite a bit, would be my guess, because they've been making this play for a little bit. But now they just lost 1 million HEX within a day. Like, so that's where people are going to get wrecked trading. So that's where you get left behind. You start buying back in at higher prices. Do I see this going back down to 5 cents? No, personally, I don't. Do I see people taking profits come Monday whenever USDC kind of has a chance to restabilize back to $1 once everything starts calming down again, once everyone sees that everything's back to normal, if you will, if in the best case scenario, then people are going to take profits, and I can see people scooping some profits off HEX. So I would see that happen. Now, what that looks like, I don't really know how much the dip's going to be, because profit taking and trading is, yeah, what we see it right here, but I'm more focused on news from Richard Hart, whether it's good or bad, and then I see what the price does after. So this was a bad news day where we dropped 21%. This is obviously a bad news day. Anytime we've gotten these little 21% dips over the span of a couple days, it's usually because it's bad news, right? And then we get the rally on the way up again. We starting to make higher highs once again, and yeah, until we start making, you know, them higher lows, and we see some red candles, and it's higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and we're back above 8 cents once again. Man, game time, freaking game time. Yeah, that's whenever shit gets real. So Enzo, to answer the question, dude, I don't want to buy into a rally, as that is usually a shit idea, aka FOMO. Yeah, FOMO's bad, right? And that's what I like. Whenever I made the decision to swap my USDC into HEX, that was a fear-based decision. Not a fan of making that trade, but for me, it was more so for peace of mind, because I don't want to see and be a part of holding a stablecoin that collapses because of a bank run. So I made that trade based on, you know, a fear moment type deal, and I hate making trades like that, because usually when you make emotional trades, you get wrecked. When you make FOMO trades and you buy on green days, you get wrecked. So I would say, I mean, at this point in time, man, it's tough to say. I could see us dipping back down come Monday. What we dip down into, I don't know. People are going to take some of the profits that they were able to make over the last 2-3 days during this time, unless V3 does launch tomorrow, right? You got to understand, V3 can change it all, right? Because then people are getting hyped again. People are like, oh, we could get snapshot any day, all this stuff. And then it's all that, you know, you get the regret of missing out, and people are like, I'd rather just have it just in case. And then if we get V3, you know, game time basically, right? So, but again, I would see us probably dip back down to 7 cents, but dude, it's tough. If you want to set limit orders, good way to do it. What you use to set limit orders, you got to make that decision yourself. I was using USDC myself, but you know, maybe you look at TUSD or you know, LUSD or any of the other ones that maybe DAI, you know, for example, that we've just went over that whole little speech as to why DAI may be the better stablecoin to consider. I'm staying away from stablecoins at this point in time. Not necessarily a fan, but I could see us setting limit orders around like the, you know, 7 cents and, you know, 7.1, 7, 6.9, 6.8. Just have limit orders set, so if the price does dip down, you don't having to wonder if it's going to go further down. Be okay with the number that you decide to get. Be happy when the price gets hit. Not financial advice. You got to do your own research, boo-boo, but that's for everyone to see. 10 top 7. What's up? 2 + 5 = 7. Absolutely. A very good evening to all. Hope everyone is doing well. Addy P, I hope you are doing amazing as well. I'm so excited for PulseChain and PulseX, HEX, and the future looks bright for all of our community. Yeah, guys, this is when you want to get into the 4 pillars, right? We talk about it all the time with the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. The 4 pillars are going to be amazing. You're going to have PulseChain, PulseX, HEX on both chains for Ethereum and PulseChain. So the 4 pillars are such an amazing foundation for crypto that I think if you get into the 4 pillar ecosystem, man, you're going to be looking glorious. And then you can set yourself up a DGen wallet or a third wallet or a trade wallet or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think you should be connecting to a whole bunch of dApps when you have PulseChain, PulseX, HEX on one particular wallet or 2 wallets, because that's freaking gold right there, right? So like, why risk the chance that you connect to a dApp that says you give authorization to do unlimited spending of PulseChain, and then PulseChain launches and you're like, doop, and then it fucking spends it all and you're like, where did all my money go? Like, that would be brutal. I hope everyone, realizes that when you start connecting to different decentralized applications, there's going to be a fuck ton of them, people. And I mean a lot of new coins that are going to be launched whenever PulseChain comes out, because it's going to be so cheap to transact on the network that it just makes sense. All of the coins are getting forked over from Ethereum onto PulseChain. It just makes sense. So be cautious, be careful. Yeah, 51 watching. We're up to 66 now, if I'm not mistaken. Absolutely. V3 is coming soon. What a fantastic time to be in the Richard ecosystem whilst the whole financial system collapses around us. PulseX, Sack Wallet, buying those dips. Rocket Train. Facts on facts. Crypto 7, where's the black watch? Nice to see you, Addy P. That's my second channel, Addy P. Lol. Hexkins, ATX. What up, Big GZ? Hello. Appreciate. Much love to Big GZ, a Patreon supporter as well. Always appreciate all of the info and valuable time. Of course, Addy P. Merry Christmas, Pac-Man. Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend. Greetings. What's up, Alan Fizme? Richard Hart seems to love DAI. Any thoughts on the DAI HEX LP pair? Yeah, so like LP in general right now is be ready. If you're not familiar with like impermanent loss and how all that works and where you could get wrecked, you could lose like 50% of your bag instantly if you try to mess with some LPing. If you aren't familiar with it, don't mess with it. Learn about it a lot. Do some test runs. I'm always a big fan of start small. If you're new to the whole liquidity providing ecosystem, start small, dude. Like, do $100. See what happens when you trade within a certain range, and what happens when the range goes out of it, and then you can start diving in with a little bit more money and start potentially earning some additional yield and profits from liquidity providing. But that's a different world, and if you aren't familiar with how impermanent loss, you could just lose 50% of your bag right away, and it's tough. So I would always be cautious. As long as USDC exists, HEX is primarily going to be tied against USDC. Let's just say that. And until something happens massively to adjust it, then that's probably when the OA would remove any liquidity that it currently has with USDC and swap it all into things like DAI. I think DAI is going to get hit a little bit hard when it comes to PulseChain because it's primarily tied to Ethereum. It's 70% tied to Ethereum. So it's going to be tough for DAI to be a stablecoin on PulseChain because you're getting diluted by 1 million or 1.2 million X. So it's a brutal thing. I would say be cautious on LPs if that's all. That's what I would say. Crypto 7, at least now you can kick back, relax. Hope you were enjoying a relaxing drink and looking forward to the next stream. Nice to see you, Crypto 7, in here. Most of my stables are going into HEX right now, but do want to create some HEX DAI USDC LP pairs as well as I feel they will repeg. Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things, like as it comes back. So as it comes back down, you can actually increase your profit because the more the peg goes back. So imagine it's this XY axis, right? You got, we'll say HEX over here, you have USDC over here, and as this gets stronger and goes back, you start making more money and more of the HEX gets converted into USDC by means giving you some more money and actually making some more funds. However, if the price of HEX continues to go out of the range that you set the LP to be in and the liquidity provided to be in, well, what happens is that range, once it gets out of it, you start moving all of that USDC back into HEX, and then you eventually end up with the bag of HEX, which is cool if that's the end up goal, because like we're in a potential where V3 gets launched and we could see a quick 2x in price, right? And I've talked about this from time and time again. With V3 and PulseChain around the corner, we're going to be seeing HEX do a 2 to 5x price increase from whatever the price is at the time it gets announced, is my guess. So if we're around 8 cents, I could see us going back up to 16 cents. And if you're outside of that LP range, then that's impermanent loss right there. And you could wait until we come back down for it to get back in ratio. But you inherently inject some risk when you do that. So just be mindful as to what you end up doing. If you have some fun and you know what you're doing, then go make your money, boo. Thanks, Eddie P. Yes, I am dreaming of retirement now. Absolutely. PulseX trophy. Yeah, exactly. I imagine that's what I was saying. I can't see all the little tags and stuff in the chat. I think there's no way HEX is going below 5 cents ever again. And that's one of the risks that we run, right? And that's like seriously one of the things that I also kind of believe in too. Like once we get V3 announcement, once we get PulseChain announcement, we see a 2 to 5x increase. We're going to have a pullback when PulseChain launches because people are going to sell their HEX from on the Ethereum side and bridge it over and sell it over there, and a whole bunch of stuff will happen. So there will be some pullback, but if we're sitting at a 25% level or 25-cent level, the pullback may only be to like 12 cents, right? Or even down to 8 cents again, right? But it's going to be very difficult for us to start seeing these levels ever again. So if you are wanting to get some, it's a great idea to dollar cost average is one way to do it, so you aren't FOMOing in over the span of the next 10 days. So for example, if you have $1,000, do $100 a day for the next 10 days. Try to be cautious about where you put in the buys. I am a big fan of doing limit orders. I think it's a nicer way of just making easier trades, but it also runs the risk that your limit orders never get hit, for example. And that is another factor that you have to, just kind of factor in. And so I want to share this with everyone because, again, PulseX will melt faces and will pass PulseChain. So I disagree. I don't know if you're talking short-term, long-term. Long-term, sure, I can see PulseX, eventually overcoming because of the whole buy and burn function. K4K did an awesome piece as to why it could be, because I think there was roughly like $50 million of trade activity or something like that. And, the buy and burn function is going to take a portion of that, which would mean that the buy would be like $1 million worth of PulseX. I think what's going to happen, though, is there's going to be more sellers on PulseX. So it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be hard because people are going to see the price moving up, and then it just means the ability for people to sell and transact more. So we'll probably trade in a range for a period of time, even with those big buys. That's kind of my guess. And he calls it Big Buy Berry or Big Berry Buy or something like that for K4K. Big Berry Buy, or I can't remember the exact name. But I think in maybe 5-10 years from now, once decentralized exchanges is still running flawlessly, doing that daily buy and burn, yeah, we could see some fucking amazing potential return. Short term, though, you got to understand, guys, like we have short term wise, there is only so much that has happened within my goodness, there's only so much that's happened within the actual ecosystem. For layer ones typically have they typically only have a 4,000x within the first 3 years, 3.5 years, we'll say. And then the layer 2s or a decentralized exchange typically only have a 600x or a 519x within the first year. And to actually show you all that as well, I'll pull it up real fast. So this is pretty average as to what you'll see a decentralized exchange do. Just to kind of give you like an idea. So we'll see something along the lines where you see a decentralized exchange gets a 519x over the span of 1 year. That's phenomenal, by the way, guys. I hope y'all have a good profit taking plan already in place, because if you don't, if you join the Patreon down below, I do have access to a profit taking strategy that will be able to actually help you out quite a bit, and you can make your own strategy based on everything. But then you actually get the PulseChain to show that it did a 4,000x within the span of 3.5 years or 3.8 years. So I think layer ones still hold the ability to outpace and outmaneuver decentralized exchanges for now. So I would be cautious as to what you're holding. And that, like, here's the thing. Hold all four, man. Don't do one. Don't think one's going to outpace the other, thinking you're going to make the big brain move that's going to be the one. Get yourself all four. Like, why run the risk of moving out or missing out on Ethereum HEX going and doing the next 100x over the span of the next year or two? Why miss out on the potential for PulseChain to do 1,000x within a year? Why miss out on the potential for PulseX to do 500x within a year? Like, why would you miss out on that just because you want to try to make a play on one or another? I think holding all four and setting a good foundation for your crypto is the way to go. I think trying to play one against the other is going to have this idea that we're gonna kind of like create different communities, and it's gonna be like, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, and it's like, dude, we're all fucking winning. So like, why does it matter? Hold all four and you're guaranteed to fucking succeed, right? But I don't think the idea of like going one or the other is the way to go. Imagine how many hex shorters will get wrecked the last few days. Exactly. Does 1 billion PulseX make us a small whale? Yeah, so I don't know about what the percentage is for, let me just see. I mean, PulseX sacrifice, pulsexlead.com. Is this still a thing where I can go to this website? Okay. This used to show kind of like how much you would get. So this particular, like you start to look at the whales right here. This is 1,000 million billion trillion. So if you're looking at 1 billion hex, I mean, we're going to be getting down here. This is the top 100 if I'm not mistaken. So let's just pull it up for the top. Let's just pull it up for the top 5,000 because I think you would be in the top 5,000 if I'm not mistaken for 1 billion hex. So let's just kind of see where you end up getting into real quick to answer the question, because heck, why not? We're here. It's Sunday. It's fun day. We're having fun. So I'm still scrolling because, again, I'm just kind of reading 1 billion hex, and I'm just waiting until we get to that number. 1 billion hex puts you right within the top, right here, just past it. 1 billion hex puts you right in the top 1,500 wallets out of, roughly 100,000 sacrifices. I think there was like 136,000 sacrifices that happened during that time. You can see I got myself covering it, but just underneath my picture right here, there's a little photo that shows top wallet or total wallets sitting at 136,000. So I mean, yeah, dude, if it's what 1% of everything right there. If you're at 1542 divided by 136,174. Yeah, I mean, you're in the 1% club. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes you a small whale or not, but it makes you pretty advantageous as long as you don't mess it up and do something that wrecks yourself, Pac-Man. But yeah, you're in a very fortunate scenario in that situation. Don't bet on hex dip, friends. Bet on a pump. Yeah. So there will definitely be a pump that happens. That's what I'm saying. Like, when we get V3 announcement, and that could be within the next 24 hours up to 1 week, depending upon how long and if he wants to wait until the full blockchain gets indexed. If he doesn't go for the full completion of it and we just get V3, then we could definitely have it, very soon. And then I would see is people getting hyped and pumped and all that good stuff. And you got to imagine we do a quick 2x pump and, you're going to have some people who are going to sell and take profits, but then they're going to get left behind, because we could easily go and do another 2x as well from there, right? So we go from doing a 2 to 4x and bam, you do two doubles back to back. So even if you get in at 7 cents right now, for example, and you go up to a double and you go up to 14 cents, well, what if we go up and do another double and you actually go up to 28 cents, for example, right? And then we're back here where that's when things get really interesting, if you ask me, because then we're back in the range where we were, right before this mid-May announcement and launch. And that's when things start getting real bullish, in my opinion, because we got so much potential to go up at that point in time. People are going to be chasing the green candle, chasing the green dragon, trying to make it happen, trying to make sure they don't get left behind, and make sure they have their copies, because everything will be indexed all the way up to March, folks. Like, Aragon is synchronized now all the way up to March. So when it comes time to launch, everything just has to synchronize from March. So if we launch within 3 weeks, we already know how long it typically takes based on Richard Hart's tweet, right? We literally know based on this right here that stage 5, that 1 through 5 is fairly easy, right? And then stage 6 takes 12 minutes. Stage 7 took 30 hours. And then from here, we're talking within a span of a day for stage 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So within the span of 48 hours, he can decide at any point in time to launch PulseChain, and people do not want to be caught sleeping on this one. I promise you. So V3 launches, we could see that pump, and we could continue to see the pump happen up until the PulseChain launch, because it can happen within a span of 48 hours, folks. Aragon is synced all the way up to March now, and I don't think everyone understands how important that is. 7, I completely agree. Absolutely, Gabriel. You're right. ATX, people do have goldfish memory. Yeah, exactly. Like, watch how fast they flock back to stables once they promise them everything is back to normal. Lol. Exactly. Like, if we don't get V3 announcement come Monday, for example, then I would see us having a sell-off, because, dude, people have goldfish memory. They're like, oh my gosh, they said everything's fine. And then they're just going to sell some HEX, right? And so they're like, I'm okay with holding stables again. Like, it's so crazy. So freaking crazy. I'm not a fan of going that route, just FYI, but everyone's going to have their own thing. Crypto 7, yeah, and never short HEX. Yeah, so Fiat's going to be coming out where people can short. Power City's going to have all that. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah, we're going to be left behind in the cold. Crypto 7, retirement. Love it. Well, we are definitely in the right ecosystem to see that happen soon. Yep, sure. Yes, sir. First B2. Let me see if I can read this. First 2 years, PulseX will pass PulseChain with big percent, like 500 to 800x. Fair enough. If you think that, I mean, dude, hodl either way. But again, like, I'm fortunate enough to have sacrificed for PulseChain and for PulseX. And I was fortunate enough to where the math that I did basically meant that I went 25% PulseX, 25% PulseChain. I went 25% HEX and then 25% HEX on both chains. So that's the math that I was able to work out. I think I'm going to be very blessed and lucky and going that route. I'm not trying to play which one's going to do better than the other. If you are, dude, like, get yourself to 4 pillars and then do whatever the F you want, right? Get yourself to 4 pillars. Move over a different wallet. Let those be the thing. Start a new wallet that you do not connect those original wallets to at all. Like, why run the risk of it? And then you can really get the joy of, like, you know, yield farming on PulseX. You can get the yield. You can get validator synchronizing. You can do everything that you possibly want to do. You can check out all the new shiny objects that are going to be coming out. But, like, dude, I am cautious as to going one over the other, okay? Crypto 7, they must have a Crypto 7 follower meetup. If you pull 10K worth of USDT and USDC, you can make roughly $200 a day, but you are playing a dangerous game. The volume is off the charts. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now, the volume for stablecoins and messing around with stablecoins and seeing how everything could work and play and everything good, it's dangerous. It's definitely dangerous. And it's not something I'm willing to personally mess with at this point in time with any stable coins. But yeah, I mean, everyone is going to be able to do their own decision and make their own decision, because we're all big boys and girls. You got to accept responsibility for any decision that you decide to make. So if you lose 50% of your bag right away because of impermanent loss, because maybe you don't understand, well, you know, you kind of had it coming. That's all I'm going to say. I'll just leave it like that. All right, cool. Most of you will get wrecked selling PulseX into PulseChain. Yeah, dude, and that's the thing. I'm not a fan. So if your plan was when you originally, because you missed the sacrifice for PulseChain completely, like say you missed it completely, I'm okay with you selling a portion of it to you know what I mean? You got to do your own thing and make that choice yourself, but it makes sense to sell a portion of it to get into PulseChain. Like, why would you not want to get into all 4 ecosystems? If you have HEX and you have stakes, why would you not want to hold those on both chains? I'm not going to be emergency end stake in my Ethereum HEX just so I can move it over onto PulseChain HEX. That'd be dumb. Why not just see how it all plays out? Same thing for PulseX. Like, if you don't have any PulseChain, yeah, dude, it'd be tough. Like, I would say get yourself to 4 pillars, right? Hopefully you have some stakes, and hopefully you get some stuff like Hedron and some free airdrops and Pulse Dogecoin and all those things that came as free airdrops by being stakers. And you can air the weight token or any of those, and you can literally just move them on over into PulseChain, PulseX, move it over into the one that you don't have and start building the position up. Something you can do as well, and I've talked about this previously, and I'll just kind of talk about it briefly here as well, but like, you might as well, move some of the profits when you end up having some of these things into, you might as well move some profits, a small percentage. I'm not talking you go fucking crazy. I'm talking a very small percentage, folks, okay? You got to understand when I talk about this. This is a becoming a crypto millionaire chart right here, and it's very simple. You mess with the Richard ecosystem, the chances that you become a crypto millionaire are very freaking high. It's that simple and that easy. But let's just say, for shits and gigs, S's and G's, okay? Let's just say you only have PulseX and you eat ham. For example, let's just say you did 20,000 sacrificed, and that was your initial investment when it all first happened. Well, if you and you did not get any PulseChain, well, if you see it to where this sucker goes and does a 2x potentially, you're gonna have $40,000, $20,000 essentially is house money at that point in time. Move some of the profits over into PulseChain. Like, why would you not want to take a small portion of those profits and at least get into here? So what if this you take over and go, hey, instead of 40,000, I now have 38,000, and then I can put 2,000 into PulseChain. Like, are you hurting your bag? No, you're not hurting your bag. And then what if this sucker goes and does 100x? And what if this, like you're saying, goes and does 100x? Well, at that point in time, you then have 2 million here, 200,000 here, and you're converting a lot of money. But what if this even goes bigger and it does 1,000x? And what if this actually only gets a 500x? Well, that's when you start seeing some real change. You start almost increasing that divvied up right away, right from the jump. This is only a 2x difference right here, but the difference over here is a 5x potential, okay? So this is when things can really start getting fun and interesting, because I'm just using averages. We did a 3,800x within the first 4 years. You get a 519x within the first 1 year, and you start looking and you only moved over $2,000. You only moved out. Like, why would you not want to take some of the profits, move it over into the coin you don't have? Holding only one is silly and dumb and ignorant, okay? But again, you're going to do your own thing and you're going to make that decision for yourself. But again, you got to realize, don't freaking kick yourself in the butt. Just accept what it is. And if you're never too late, dude, like say, for example, you go and do a 500x and you never get into PulseChain because this is your thing. And you're like, you know what? I'm just not getting into PulseChain. I won't do it. I won't do it. And it goes and does a 3,800x. Cool. Well, at that point in time, you can still move over some of this fucking $10 million, I think, into a potential to get, at least capture some PulseChain, okay? So then you can say, hey, I can move over 100,000. Or, whoops, my bad. Did 100,000. You can move over 100,000. That's taking literally a scrape of 1% off the bag right here. And this could maybe only end up doing a 50x now because you missed the 3,800x. But you could still have $5 million. Like, so, guys, like, do not wreck yourself. And that's not even including HEX, guys. That's not even including HEX. That's only messing with PulseChain and PulseX, okay? So I think everyone needs to understand that it is advantageous to enjoy all four, okay? LOL, everyone's swapping USDC for HEX. Pump it up. Exactly. Pump it up. What was that? I think it's Ludicrous or something like that. V3 will be very soon. Nearly all is synced. So what's left then? I think just V3 launch, isn't it? Yeah, so at this point in time, the only thing they're waiting on technically is the blockchain syncing, but that doesn't necessarily need to happen either, okay? So, and this kind of came because apparently we launched V2B while it was still, the block was indexing, okay? And we were only up to like 40% at that time. So PulseX, PulseChain update, Aragon is synced, and the block explorers are indexing very nicely, right? And it's as simple as that right there. And so we got 43% of the blocks being indexed. And yeah, I mean, overall, just a phenomenal time. We're actually going to be calling them beats for the gas tracker instead of Gwei. They're going to be called beats. A little fun fact right there, if y'all didn't see that before. This is actually being shown right here. Whoa, where'd you go? Where'd it go? All right, it doesn't let me show that. Interesting. It doesn't want me to show it. Okay, cool. Well, anyways, I hope y'all can see it on that little photo, but it says beat right here. And I know y'all can see it because I can see it on my screen. But anyways, that's just a little fun fact for everyone right from the get-go. All right, what else we got? What else we got? Move this over here. And checking out, be home to snack after, be home in maybe 25 minutes. Cool. All right, well, shit, guys, there's been a lot of news happening. Let's just see what y'all folks got to say on this lovely freaking Sunday. All right. Yeah, traders are more likely to stay in due to doubling. Yeah, traders, I don't know, dude. Traders are going to do trader things, man. The mind of a trader is is like, how can I make a quick fucking 10%, 20%? So they don't really care so much even waiting for the double. Like, they just want to make some profit, because a lot of the times they'll come in heavy and try to make some moves based on a heavy amount that they inject. And so traders are doing trader things. At 10 top, USDC keeps going down, so it pumps our price. LOL. Love on-chain volume versus paper trading. Shows you who is king. Absolutely. Speculate on when snapshot ATX, please. Man, snapshot. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's within 48 hours. Like, you got to realize the snapshot can happen once V3 launches and we get V3. Snapshot can happen within 48 hours. That's as simple as that. Snapshot is only going to take that amount of time, because they literally just have to resynchronize Aragon again. They'll have to do the blockchain indexing most likely again. So we'll anticipate roughly between anywhere 48 hours to 96 hours of whenever Richard Hart decides. I think we would be looking for probably that mid-May fucking launch, just so that way he's right. You know what I mean? Just so that way he can say, I told you it was mid-May, guys. Like, just for some humor. I feel like forever since Sacrifice, dreaming of retirement, too, absolutely. MetaMask swaps, noob. LOL, bring on the minute candles. They use MetaMask for future airdrops. Yeah, they can. Nice, Ivan, Mandeep. Yeah, and so, yeah, bro, I wish that too. I'm so sick of my job and boss. Yeah, absolutely. Dreaming of retirement. ATX got me dreaming of a white Christmas with that tree. Hey, all right. Thanks, 7. Absolutely. The more we tap that 7-8 price, the better we break it. The better once we break it should fly high. Absolutely. When V3 launch? Within a week is what I said on that one. It's tough because my friend's telling me to buy HEX since December, but I fucked up and didn't take action. Now it's pumping so hard, I'm on the fence whether to go in or watch and chill. Enzo, best thing to do is just DCA over the next like 10 days, right? I mean, that's just like best thing to do, man. Like, because you're going to be talking, like, guys, we have the ability to be looking at this in the future. So if you're talking about the dollar for a HEX by the end of the year, you buying at 7 cents is still a good 10x, 13x your money. You know what I mean? Like, would you 13x your money right now if you knew it was going to 13x by the end of the year? Most people would say yes. So regardless of what the price is in the short term, you got to have a long-term vision when it comes to crypto. So if you knew that by the end of the year we're going to be at $1, for example, you would most likely say 7 cents doesn't matter, I'll buy now. And you got to have that long-term vision. And there's a potential that we go on a bull run and we get fucking $20 HEX by 2024, 2025. And then you're talking a whole different level where you're like, I should have bought it 6 cents or 7 cents. Like, who cares? You made a lot of money, right? And so that's kind of what I would say. Illuminati, absolutely. He said 1 week max, could be 24 hours. Exactly. I have a WETH USDC position below 0.3. LOL. When it wicks down like that, you get so many fees since you are the only one down there. Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. LP positions can be amazing. You can make plenty of money. You can't understand people watching HEX go down since September, then say, I don't want to FOMO into a rally. So close, we will be well rewarded for being so patient, I think. Absolutely. Yeah. Patience is a virtue, and anyone in crypto has a long-term vision is going to be rewarded long-term vision wise, right? I wasn't aware of HEX and the project till recently, and I only read up recently as well. Well, Enzo, welcome aboard, man. And again, like, start simple, man. Again, this is just kind of like what I would do myself if I was in the position. I would start DCAing over the span of the next few days and watch out for the gas prices. I would say the gas fees right now on the weekend are probably some of the better times to do it. So if you are trying to transact and it's something that you aren't familiar with because you're new to crypto, for example, gas prices can eat your ass alive sometimes and you'll just waste a whole bunch of money. So like, for example, go to etherscan.io/gas tracker and you'll see the gas prices right now sitting at this 25% GUE. And again, etherscan.io/gas tracker, right here, gas tracker. And you'll be able to kind of keep track of all this stuff as well. Now, granted, we've been pretty high. I usually try to transact around 8 to 12 GUE. We haven't seen those in like the last 2 months since Blur came out. And so if you can get it around 20, you're probably doing fairly well. They can get as high as, freaking 100. If you're seeing GUE at like anything above 40 or whatever, I just like wait a few hours and then just look for the 20 GUE to come around. Exactly, and that's kind of what I would just kind of showcase there if you're new to it. You're going to love Hex Enzo, absolutely. Please deploy the like button upon entry. Shout out to 7, ATX salute. 10 top, appreciate that, my friend. You're in the right place, right time. Glad you made it to Hexico. Crypto 7, welcome Enzo. You have arrived at the right place. It's buy time. I love it. Waiting for my lovely sack bags for PulseChain, PulseX, Liquid Loans, Mintra. Dude, I can't wait for all those as well, man. And I had forgotten a few of them who I'd sacrificed for too, because it's not just Pulse and PulseX that I did. But I went to fatty.io, and you can actually connect your wallet on that one, and it'll show you any of the sacrifices that you've done previously. Anyways, that just hurts, though, buying into a 300% rally. Again, you're looking, that's very short-term thinking. Very short-term, okay? Like, go long-term. Like, what are you going to do whenever Hex is back at 50 cents? Are you going to be sad that you got Hex at 7 cents? Like, probably not, dude. You're going to be, that's almost a good 10x your money at that point in time. And God forbid we just get up to 70 cents by the end of the year. That's still 10 extra money. And if you are like me and you want to see a good profit of money, 10x is a good return for a lot of folks. You're never going to see that in the normal. You're never going to see that in the normal world, right? Auctioneer mode, exactly. Crypto is painful, Enzo, like getting a six pack. You can use Uniswap.fish to get a sense of LP. Absolutely, you love Uniswap.fish. Watch gas prices on LP. That too. LOL, I bought in at 38 cents. I've been DCA in since, and you just got to pay up. Yeah. So you got to understand, dude, before, like, you getting the price in at 7 cents, there were people buying at 40 cents, 50 cents, right? And like, they are still holding and just DCA down, right? Because if the price goes down, you just have to buy some more, and it actually lowers your average quite a bit if the price goes deep enough. But at this point in time, you're in a much better position. I think 7 cents. We were at 7. Granted, we've been here for a little bit of time. Don't get me wrong, but like before that in 2021, we were at 7 cents for a span of We were at 7 cents for a span of, where are you at? 7 cents. Go here. For a span of 38 days. And then we didn't see 7 cents again for the rest of the year. All the way up until May of 2022. So, like, there's so many people that bought way higher than you, Enzo. So don't miss out on an opportunity because of fear. And also don't chase because of FOMO. Like, don't go all in at this point in time. Like, DCA in. Use it over the span of a few days and then just watch the gas fees. I won't make any swaps when bridge opens. I am happy with my sacrifices. At Enzo, the people that were still buying at 1.7 cents are still buying now at 7 cents, if that helps you. There's people at DCA all the way down since 30 cents and more. Exactly. ATX always bringing the fire value. Appreciate that so much. Anthony Saavedra, I see you, 777. Everyone like, sub, and check out Crypto 7. Exactly. Definitely check out Crypto 7 as well. Enzo, check on T-shares mechanism. The T-share you lock in with stakes can allow you to essentially DCA down, right? It actually allows you to lock in hex terms and a whole bunch of stuff. Enzo, if you understand the power of a T-share, you'll understand why I've been buying all the way down, and I'll continue to DCA all the way back up. K Noel, appreciate that. Great stream. Love the profile picture as well. L1, always do more than average than DEX tokens, but PulseX tokenomics is nice. Agree. Cookies to chocolate, appreciate you coming through. It's so good to hang out with all of you guys. Absolutely. I hope all the information that I provided to you recently in the chat and the comments were very valuable. If y'all do have questions and you don't catch me on stream, leave them down in the comments. You know what I mean? I'm always a big fan of replying to them and checking them out afterwards as well, seeing what y'all gotta say. PulseX fucks with many X's. That's a high body count. 4 wives, not one. Got it. Thank you, ATX. Moving to Utah next. Microscopic whale. Exactly. Let the bodies hit the floor. Dude, I fucking love Drowning Pool. 10 top, nothing wrong with me. 3, nothing wrong with me. 4, nothing wrong with me. Yeah. Nothing wrong with me. Oh, $1 billion. I thought he said $1 million. Fair play. $1 billion is a lot. Makes him very rich. Congrats. It sure is a lot. $1 billion, impressive. Absolutely. He is going to have more money than Elon Musk. Lol. No. Not 1 billion. Not 1 billion Hex or Hex 1 billion PulseX. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got what you were saying. Crypto 7. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Pac-Man, what's up? Hodl, all PulseX, Pulse, and Hex until 2025 January mark high is the play for me. Well, have strategies, take profits on the way up, man. Don't do like me and watch the rally go all the way up to 56 cents, making mini 6 figures, and then watch that go all the way down to essentially nothing when we're at 1 cent. So be smart about when you take profits. I don't hit the like at Gloria Rafi. I spank it gently. Ooh, talk dirty to me. I agree with Crypto 7. Not everyone, not even shorting Hex. Not ever shorting Hex, but I will always short Zen. Lol, Zen is a joke. Facts. Bro, where's that calculator on my Patreon, Alan Fizme? 172 billion will be a PulseX whale. Yeah, exactly. WETH will be a stablecoin of choice. Day 2. Laugh. Facts on facts. Hold a bag of all 3 and just hold. Exactly. If you are holding in all 3, you have no worries. I like PulseChain, Dogechain, DC, PulseX, Hex, HODL, all of it, man. It's all going to be amazing. But again, if you're messing with other coins other than the Richard Art 4 pillars, have a different wallet. Just don't wreck yourself connecting different decentralized apps to a wallet that holds your sacrifice or that holds your Give me 5 minutes, please. All right. Sorry about that. And let's see what's going on here. Hello, happy Sunday, everyone. Hex Force 1. Hello, beats not Satoshi and Quay, not Quay. Hello, but I did sag for it. Absolutely. Give me all the beats. What is snapshot? Excuse my ignorance. I'll have to explain that to you in just a little bit later on that one. Enzo, the train is leaving the station. Don't get Enzo scared like that, folks. No need. Don't forget to buy. Getting in now before PulseChain, you get everything doubled over. Exactly. That's a good point, Enzo. So even if you buy now and you get it copied over to PulseChain when it launches, that's essentially like buying in at 3.5 cents. Let's just say it like that. Will Hex flex hearts if we see 11K and pray? Maybe. Oh, nice. Peace. Great stream, ATX. Thanks, ATX. Absolutely, guys. It was a banger. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I will catch you in tomorrow's stream, folks. Leave a comment down below.